Right, I'm actually going to do a proper walk around of the 2013 Lotus Evora S Sports Racer, because my last video was a bit poor and rushed. So this is a sports racer, and as a result of the sports racer, I do an exterior and interior. It's basically the last of the S1 Series 1 first lot of Evoras, whatever you want to call it, models, so they put every option on it. So that's probably where the sensible money would be if you're worried about depreciation. Just do a quick walk around, have a look at the back, and I'll do a bit more detail about what it's actually like. Okay, I'm not going to go on the other side, it's basically the same. So with the Evora S Sports Racer, it's got, you might as well just call it a black pack I guess, but as you can see it's got black wheels. This particular one was spec'd with red calipers, you can get them black. They're 20 inches at the back and 19 inches at the front. Then you also have black roof, black wing mirrors, black door sills there, A-pillars, and then a gloss black side skirt here. I've actually added this side skirt from a group buy off the Lotus forum. First of all, visually, I think it looks really good. And second of all, obviously, if you do ground the car, it will give a good amount of protection. So if I see it from the front, it adds quite a lot of aggressiveness, if you ask me. I really like it. So I'm a big fan of that. Okay, so basically everything on this is not style over substance, it's actually form. So the big vents on the front are for cooling. Everything is to do with aerodynamics on this. Okay, these vents here again are for cooling, and up here, and obviously that's where the air escapes to the back, and more here as well. And this is what I really like about cars like this. You kind of look inside the rear window and you've got the Lotus engine bay covered air, which is a great view out the rear view. And you come down, you can see it's an Evora S there. It's got this really mean looking diffuser, which is almost a bit out of character with the rest of the car, and which is another reason why I really wanted to add the front splitter, because it kind of brings it all together a little bit more. So I haven't cleaned the car, but I just wanted to get this while there was nice weather. Okay, I'll show you the boot. So the boot was designed with having a golf bag in the back. That may look small on the photos, but it's actually pretty damn usable. So I've just got some general stuff in there at the moment. That's where your battery is. So I've got a cable hooked up to my trickle charger down there, and you can see it goes all the way into there and all the way into there. And that's obviously the junk you put in your tyres if they deflate. And then with the Evora again, because with the sports racer it's leather up here, which you wouldn't get on the non-sports racers unless you spec'd it. So they come with 3 different packs. I'm not going to pretend to know all the details of all of them, but you've basically got a sports pack which adds like a sports button, a valved exhaust, removes the third cap, which makes it louder, sharper throttle response. And then you've got kind of a comfort pack, which adds lots of leather trim to the car. I think that's where you get the folding rear mirrors as well, and a few other bits and bobs. And then you've got the tech pack, which adds things like the reversing camera, sat nav, and a few other things. Like I said, the full specs are on the internet, so you don't need to worry about me telling you about those. So it is 4 seats. Let's open it up. So this one was spec'd with the red leather seats, and what I really wanted was the Suede X interior, because for me it just makes it feel a lot more special, a lot more of an occasion every time you use it. and it just makes it look that much nicer than just having plain black interior, or sorry, just any colour leather interior, to be honest, actually. So people complain often about the fit and finish of the Evoras and Lotus in general, but honestly, this is absolutely brilliant. I've jumped out of a Lexus ISF, which is known for its build quality, into this, and I can't fault it. I really can't fault it. There are a few things, maybe, if I was being really, really picky. So this is very plasticky. Maybe if they'd made that kind of aluminium to go with everything else, but then obviously you might cut yourself every time you open it. Or maybe just slightly different, because it does feel a little bit cheap. That's probably the only thing that feels a bit cheap, if I'm honest. Everything else feels really good. The seats are absolutely fantastic. And you can see there they've got Lotus embroidered on them, which is just brilliant. And again, you can see all the suede everywhere, which is really good. Right, we'll go inside driver's side just very quickly. I want to show you Mom. I do have a daughter. She's very tall for her age, and she does fit in the back. So I have had to remove the both seats, the back and the base, which is very easy to do, very easy. But what you can see is it gives you a really good amount of legroom behind my wife, who's 5'7". I need to put some more carpet down there as well, like I've done over there, or just extend it or something. But you get a really good amount of legroom, and with this seat, you do have to wait until they're about 15 kilograms. But what it then means is I can actually put another baby behind me, which I didn't actually think I'd be able to do with this car. So that's really good. Then you come around to the driver's side, just get inside. So you can see the door sill is really high, and everyone will be talking about that. And is it hard to get into? I'm 6'2". I don't find it a major issue, if I'm honest. Is it more difficult than getting inside a car without such big door sills? Yes, obviously, it's more difficult, but it's really not that bad. It's certainly not as bad as I think a lot of people would have you believe. Oh yeah, the keys as well, they're a bit pony. But kind of got your rear, double press that to open the boot, open the doors, lock. So you put that in. I have to do that getting the steering wheel's in the wrong position, aren't I? So you start it up quickly. So that means the steering wheel's in a decent place. I'll just do the start up again quickly. So what you do, I do have a dash cam fitted up here because of some issues I've had in the past. So let's try that again. So all the lights come on. Keep beeping, it's because I haven't got my seatbelt on. And you start it up. The dash is going to be for different people's taste. I guess some people like it, some people won't. I actually really like it. But the view from the driver's side is great. Like I say, the suede looks fantastic. People complain about this, it's quite laggy, but the navigation system on it's fantastic, and because it's aftermarket, it's got lots of great features. So you can store routes to make sure that you always know the really nice roads that you like to drive, which is really good actually, because otherwise if you're like me and you don't really know you're not very good geographically, it's a really fantastic thing. It doesn't like being hustled through the gears, which the reviews do say, but you do really experience when you drive it. If you're really trying to give it some and go through the gears very quickly, it very quickly tells you that it's not something it particularly enjoys. But once you adapt to that, it's really good. So that's a view in the back. You can see she's very, very close to me, which is quite nice actually. But yeah, that's really good. You know, it's just standard stuff in here really, to be honest. A lot of people complain that the ergonomics, yes, the ergonomics aren't ideal. So these don't light up, but they are only cruise control and very easy to work out. Okay, so they don't cause a massive problem. Then you've got the buttons which you really can't see, which probably would be helpful if they're lit up, which are there and there. So when you're driving, you really can't see much at all. They're very well made, and people complain about the ability to press them and so on, but I think they're actually really good. So you've got locking here, so kind of anti-hijack, which you can set as well. You've got your boot release, glove box, ready? Pop. Heated seats, which is absolutely brilliant. I never expect anything like that in a car like this. And that changes the brightness of the dials, but it won't do that because I've taken the key out. You then have your fog lights. This only has a rear fog light, your sport button, which I'll show you in a minute when I rev the car. Traction control, your main lights, side lights, and petrol cap. Steering wheel is brilliant. Really, really lightweight, really lovely to use. It feels absolutely fantastic. One of the most amazing things about this car actually is the handling. So going from a Lexus, which is a performance car, and then jumping into this on the test drive was a massive eye-opener for me. Going over bumps, going over undulations on the road, this thing just soaked it up. The Lexus was crashing around. It was an 08 Lexus, so it was pre suspension updates, but it was absolutely, this was absolutely amazing. It's one of the most fantastic cars to drive, and the steering wheel feedback is just unreal. At first it's a little bit unsettling as you go over undulations in the road, because you can literally feel it moving around, but it is brilliant. It tells you everything that's happening on the road so you can try and control it. Another thing I really like is when you look out the rear side mirrors, you can see the intake scoops, which is really cool. And then when you look out the rear mirror, you can see the Lotus engine cover in the background. So is there anything else I didn't think it would have? It does have the garage, automatic garage link if you want it, which is pretty good, I guess. Like I said, nav unit's actually a lot better than I thought, and a lot better than my Lexus. It's got auto folding mirrors. But enough of that. Let's go and put the exhaust on and go from there. Okay. This might be a bit juddery. Almost finished. Yeah. That's probably about right. So the phone fell over, but to get the idea, so it shows you the sport exhaust mode when it went really deep, and the standard exhaust as well. So hopefully this has been relatively helpful for people looking for one of these cars. So yeah, that's it. It's an absolutely brilliant thing. A great alternative to the kind of standard. I'm going to buy a 911 Brigade. So yeah, I love it. Okay, cheers.